Good morning. As we get back into the routine, I'd like to thank those of you that prayed for us while we were on our family trip. It was delightful. But now we're back. It's Monday morning, the first Monday of the new year, and we're continuing our listening in to the letter that the Apostle Paul wrote to the church in Corinth. He's specifically addressing husbands and wives. And the Christian marriage has an anchor point. It has guardrails that the non-Christian marriages don't know about. In fact, here he says, stop depriving one another, except by agreement for a time, so that you may devote yourselves to prayer, and come together again so that Satan will not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. But this I say by way of concession, not of command. Yet I wish that all men were even as I myself am. However, each man has his own gift from God, one in this manner and another in that. At the end of this text, he's saying, I wish everyone was single like I am. But I understand that God has gifted some people to be single, and he's gifted other people to be married. So with that idea, like the secondary idea here out of the way, consider the first one. He says, stop depriving one another. I'm mad at you, or, I'm not in the mood, or my heart's not in it, or whatever the excuses we use for depriving our spouse of physical intimacy. He says, nope, you bought into some kind of a deception, and it's not real, it's not true. So you stop depriving each other, except for, by agreement, we're going to fast, we're going to abstain from intimacy for a short amount of time so that we can devote ourselves to prayer. Now, there are certain circumstances in a marriage where you may need to go to your separate corners and pray. And each one of you then draws close to Christ, and he draws you close to himself and to each other. And then he says you come back together. But the only reason to deprive your spouse of physical intimacy is to, by agreement, to separate for a little bit and pray. But then come back together, because if you don't, there are just almost overwhelming temptations out in the world for you to be immoral. So you find your joy, you find all your fulfillment in your spouse and in that relationship, and nowhere else, not even in yourself. So with that idea, we rejoice in the fact that we devote ourselves to each other. We devote ourselves to prayer. The last time we were together like this, we recognize that, my body is not mine. It belongs to Jesus and to Mitzi. Her body is not hers. It belongs to Jesus and to me. And in that order. And when we arrange our Christian mindset and our Christian marriage in line with Christ, then we experience the blessings of heaven. So I just want to bless those of you that are married. If you're not married, God bless you for that. God has gifted you, at least for the moment, to be single. Rejoice in that. If you want to be married, then pursue that. But at the moment, if you're single, be grateful for the gift that God has given to you in whatever circumstance you are. God bless you. He loves you. And we love you too.